Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. It is a beautiful Tuesday afternoon here. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, but honestly, none of that matters because the tea I am about to spill is so scorching hot, it might actually burn the entire house down. So grab your iced lattes, take a deep breath, and let's dive right into the absolute madness of Port Charles. Okay, but listen, Drew Kane, what in the actual world is going on with this man? I'm calling it now. This is going to end badly. He is extending an olive branch to someone, proposing a truce, which sounds all nice and mature, right? Wrong. It is a trap. It is 100% a trap because Drew is so manipulative now. I forgot to mention earlier, but in the Friday preview, he is literally standing there scheming with Ava Jerome. He looks her dead in the eye and says, "Together, we can take Sonny down." I am screaming. Since when is Drew Kane the ultimate mob-destroying villain? Why would he do that? He used to be the good twin. He was a Navy SEAL. Now he's running around Port Charles acting like he's the Godfather, and I am actually losing my mind over this character assassination, but also I kind of love it. Wait, did I already say that? Whatever. Anyway, Ava Jerome. My queen. My toxic, manipulative, stunning queen. I was looking at Ava's outfit in this scene, which by the way was stunning. She always wears those jewel tones that make her look like a literal goddess. But then I realized what she was actually saying, and I was like, are you serious right now? She is teaming up with Drew to destroy Sonny, the father of her child. I mean, I know she and Sonny have a history that is messier than a reality TV reunion, but this is a whole new level of betrayal. And don't even get me started on the fact that she is playing both sides. Because, oh wait, before that happened, actually, Ava goes to visit Portia Robinson. Yes, Portia! Ava is sitting there doing her absolute best to reassure Portia, acting like the patron saint of worried mothers, telling her that Trina's going to be fine despite Curtis heading off to prison. I mean, the sheer hypocrisy of Ava Jerome giving maternal reassurance while simultaneously plotting to burn down Sonny's empire is just chef's kiss. It is so dramatic. Portia is sitting there, literally shaking with anxiety, and Ava is just patting her hand like, there, honey. I can't breathe. I'm dead. Skull emoji. And speaking of Portia, she needs to get it together, I swear. There's a gathering happening for Curtis at her house before he reports to Pentonville to begin his sentence. A whole farewell party. And what does Portia do? She decides that the kindest thing she can do for her ex is to not be there. She is skipping the gathering so things don't get awkward. I mean, good call Portia, honestly, because the tension in that room would be thick enough to cut with a chainsaw, but also, the man is going to prison. 2 years. Maybe more. At this point, I'm yelling at my screen, "Just go to the party, Portia! Put your big girl pants on." But you know who actually has some sense in that family? Trina Robinson. Trina is literally the only adult in the room at the She completely disagrees with her mother and argues that Curtis could use all the support he could get right now. Trina is stepping up, being the mature, grounded daughter that she always is, and I am just so proud of her. But also my heart breaks for her because she has been through so much. The stalker, the Esme drama, Spencer, and now her dad is going to Pentonville? Give this girl a break. Honestly, I am so emotionally invested in Trina's happiness that I am personally offended by the writers putting her Okay, where was I? Right, so before this gathering even happens, we get the scene that literally made me drop my fork. Jordan and Curtis. In the bedroom. Y'all, I am sweating just thinking about it. They are savoring his final moments of freedom, and Jordan pulls him back into bed and says, "I'm not ready to let you go," and then they start kissing. The chemistry, the heat, the absolute tragedy of it all. She tells him she is never letting him go and that he will remain in her heart despite this force. I was literally crying. It is so romantic but so devastating because he is literally about to put on an orange jumpsuit. I can't even deal. And can we just take a moment to appreciate Jordan Ashford? She has been through the ringer with Curtis. They have so much history, so much pain, and yet, when the chips are down, she is the one holding him in her arms. That bedroom scene wasn't just about physical heat. It was about two people who fundamentally understand each other's souls. Jordan stepping up as temporary Aurora CEO is amazing, but her heart is clearly breaking. I honestly don't know how she is going to focus on board meetings and corporate strategies when the love of her life is wearing prison-issued clothing and fighting for his life against Jen Sidwell. It's too much, you guys. It's literally too much. And then, to make things even more chaotic, Jordan gets a pep talk about her temporary Aurora CEO news. Like, she is taking over Aurora, she is kissing her ex-husband who is going to prison, She is dealing with all this corporate drama, and she is just out here thriving and surviving. I love Jordan so much. She is an icon. But I am so worried about how she is going to handle Curtis being locked up. Is she going to visit him? Is Portia going to find out about this bedroom scene? Because if Portia finds out that Curtis and Jordan were hooking up right before he went to jail, the explosion is going to be legendary. Mark my words, this is going to end badly for everyone involved. Meanwhile, Portia is probably sitting in her house, staring at the walls, trying to convince herself she made the right choice by skipping the gathering. But deep down, she knows she is just running away. She is terrified. She is terrified for Curtis, she is terrified for Trina, and she is terrified of her own guilt. If Curtis gets hurt in that prison attack, Portia is never going to forgive herself for not being there to say a proper goodbye. The regret is going to eat her alive. I am so frustrated with her, but at the same time, I get it. Fear makes people do irrational things. But seriously, good call Portia is going to turn into biggest regret Portia real quick. Now, let's talk about the impending doom that is Pentonville. Curtis is getting ready to report to prison, and I am just sick to my stomach. Prison life is no joke, and Curtis is a former cop. Do you know what happens to former cops in Pentonville? It is a death sentence. Alexis Davis already gave him that heavy warning about not letting the bitterness consume him, but how can he not be bitter? He is losing his freedom, he is missing out on his baby boy Desmond's life, and he is leaving Trina behind. I am seriously so stressed about Curtis. I feel like I need to start a petition to free him. But wait, the drama doesn't stop there. We have to talk about Sonny Corinthos. Sonny is at the Metro Court pool, and he is meeting with someone unknown. He hints that he has discovered a new way of dealing with things, and might admit he is hoping to leave all the crime behind. Sonny Corinthos, leaving the mob. I am literally gasping for air. This is a seismic shift in the entire fabric of Port Charles. Sonny has been the mob boss for over 30 years. Who is he talking to? Is it Jason? Is it Carly? Is it Justine? I was pausing the screen trying to see the reflection in his sunglasses. I swear I am acting like an FBI agent right now. Which is insane, by the way, Sonny actually thinking he can just walk away from the mob like it's a part-time job at the mall. You don't just put in your 2 weeks notice with the mafia. But Sonny is seriously pivoting. He wants to go legitimate. But he still has to deal with the absolute nightmare that is Jen Sidwell. I forgot to mention earlier, but Sonny actually goes to visit Sidwell at Pentonville. Yes, Sonny walks right into the prison to confront this absolute menace. Sonny brings up the auction for Sidwell's assets and tries to bargain for information. He offers Sidwell protection behind bars in exchange for intel, and he wants reassurance that his loved ones will remain safe. Sonny is trying to play the diplomatic card, trying to ensure that Sidwell won't send any threats from within those prison walls. But Sidwell? Oh, Sidwell is a completely unhinged psychopath. He absolutely refuses to strike any deals with him. He just laughs in his face. The audacity. Sidwell is setting the stage for a massive, bloody prison attack that Sonny will ultimately be accused of ordering. I am literally shaking. Sidwell is so dangerous, and Sonny just poked the bear. And here is the absolute kicker. The twist that made me scream so loud my dog ran out of the room. When Curtis eventually reports to Pentonville, he realizes that his new cellmate is none other than Jen Sidwell. I repeat, Curtis and Sidwell are cellmates. I am dead. I am deceased. Bury me now. How is this even legal? Sidwell is the most dangerous man in the world, and Curtis is locked in a tiny concrete box with him. At this point, I'm yelling at my screen, get him out of there. Call Diane Miller. Call somebody. This is a disaster waiting to happen. Curtis is going to get caught in that prison attack, and I am terrified he is going to get hurt or worse. Okay, where was I? Right, so back outside the prison walls, Laura Collins is also dealing with her own nightmare. She reaches out to Rocco Falconeri, hoping he is willing to do something for her to make things easier on Lulu, who is already stressed out enough because of Charlotte. But Laura also delivers a chilling warning to someone about a very vindictive. Now, the promo makes it look like she is talking about Drew Kane, right? Because Drew is being so vindictive and isolating Scout and just acting like a total villain. But honestly, I think she might be talking about Sidwell. Or maybe she is talking about Drew. I am so conflicted. Either way, Laura is terrified that this vindictive man's reach could extend from behind bars or from the boardroom and ruin all their lives. Rocco is just standing there absorbing all this heavy family trauma, and I feel so bad for the kid. He already shot Cullum and has all that guilt, and now his grandmother is pulling him into more drama. Let's circle back to Ava and Drew for a second, because I just cannot let this go. The dynamic between them is so incredibly toxic, but so fascinating. Ava Jerome has survived serial killers, mob wars, being thrown off bridges, you name it. And Drew Kane went from being this honorable, upstanding guy to a ruthless corporate raider who uses his own family as pawns. The fact that these two are sipping drinks at the Metro court pool and plotting the downfall of Sonny Corinthos is honestly the most chaotic team-up of the decade. I am literally obsessed with the drama of it all. What is Ava's endgame here? Does she really think Drew won't turn on her the second it benefits him? Because, mark my words, there is no honor among thieves, and Drew is completely off the rails. I also just have to say how wild it is that Sonny is trying to pivot to a legitimate life right when everything around him is exploding. He wants to leave the crime behind, but the crime will never leave Sonny Corinth. It is literally in his DNA. Even if he walks away, people like Sidwell, Drew, and Ava are going to keep pulling him back in. It's like that famous mob movie quote, every time he tries to get out, they pull him back in. I'm calling it now. Sonny's attempt at a peaceful life is going to cause more bloodshed than his time as a mob boss ever did. Honestly, I am exhausted just talking about this. The sheer amount of overlapping conspiracies, the betrayals, the bedroom hookups, the prison cellmate twist, it is too much for one person to process. I am going to be glued to my television on Monday because I actually cannot live without knowing what happens next. Will Curtis survive being locked in a cage with Sidwell? Will Drew and Ava actually manage to take down Sonny just as he's trying to leave the mob? Will Jordan and Curtis get caught? I have so many questions and zero patience. Will Curtis survive Pentonville with Sidwell, or is this the end of the line? Drop your wildest theories in the comments below and smash that subscribe button.